Please go ahead, Maitri, and explain this slide. Yeah, you're on mute, Maitri. You'll have to unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of books, what kind of work, what time of day, and what music does the three modes prefer?
Motivational, biography, teaching 4 a.m. till noon, classical, soft music.
So those who are in the mode of goodness, they like to learn about how great people who have achieved the goal of their life. For example, APJ Abdul Kalam. They like to read about people and they like to motivate themselves to find out the true goal of their life and what is even the religious books like you all are reading Gita. So those who are in the mode of goodness like to do that. And those who are in the mode of goodness, their work is usually, they like teaching and explaining and sharing their knowledge. And the time of the day that they're most active is from early morning till noon. And after that, they will probably do devotional service and then just wind up the day quickly so that again the next morning they'll be active. And music, they usually like classical or soft music. What about those in the mode of passion?
Yeah. Passion is thriller science fiction, money is honey. Noon till 8 p.m. jazz, rock, and pop.
Yes. So those who are in the mode of passion, what do they like? Which kind of books? They want to be excited, so they will read thriller, adventure, science fiction. They like to read such kind of books. It's not like those who are in the goodness won't read. Suppose they're studying, they need to read that book. They will read, but it is mainly they enjoy only this kind of books. And for them, why do they work? Because they want money, only money minded they'll be. And what time of the day? In the morning, they'll get up a little late, but then they'll be very active from noon till evening. Yeah, that is the most active time. And they like jazz and rock and pop, and they won't enjoy bhajan or classical or soft music. They enjoy only this sort of music. What about the mode of ignorance, Maithili? What kind of books?
Ignorance is objectionable. Yes. Websites, alcoholics, addicts, yeah. 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. shouting, screaming.
Those are in the mode of ignorance. Objectionable means what you should not see, things which are not good, which will put your mind in a bad state, which you are not supposed to see. Those things they will feel like seeing and reading. They are mostly they'll be addicts. They'll be doing things which are addictive. For example, playing games the whole day. That's addictive. And at the time of the day, they like to be awake the night when everybody is sleeping. That's when they will sit up and do all the wrong things. So they will like to be mostly awake in the night. And they like music which is just shouting and screaming, and there is no touching the heart and which is emotional. They just like music which is shouting and screaming. That kind of music is what they usually enjoy. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Maithili. So who has not explained anything? Or let's see. Let's go through these slides quickly. So here we learn a life lesson, children, that we think of these three invisible shackles. We don't see that they are holding us so tightly, and we actually may think that they are our strength. Some people may think, in fact, today, now that you're reading the Gita, you may realize that being ambitious is not that great. Wanting lots of money is not. Some of there are many children whose parents also try to tell them, don't you want to earn lots of money? Don't you want to have a comfortable life? Instead of telling them, find the true, what is the true calling? What are the talents God has gifted you that you need to use for the service of the world? Instead of teaching children in a way that they will realize the goal of their life, they ask them to run after money or good results or a good college, and they don't. Many times children also think that that is what is my strength, sitting and studying the whole night, and that is running after money is what I should be doing. Now, when you read the Gita, you come to know, oh, it's not actually, the greatest of things. They're actually holding, they're actually shackles. Some of us may even think being very good is the best thing, I'm so nice. But then now after reading the Gita chapter 14, you feel, oh, being in goodness is also actually a shackle. It's also like, a rope. It's I'm being attached to some rope and it is making me do things. Mode of goodness is also a shackle. It's also binding me. How will I be free is what you will learn in the last part of this chapter. So you can see here, O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness. Krishna is saying that what does goodness do? It conditions us to happiness, being happy and satisfied. It makes us be tied to that. Passion, what does it do? It ties us to fruitive actions. Whatever good you do, you will get the good. You go to heavens, bad things you do, you have the bad results. So good and bad actions keep on happening. Only the greed is in front. And knowledge, it binds one to madness. So this is verse 9. It is a 1 to 9. Now we have understood three modes and how they fight for the three modes. How the three modes are fighting to get our attention. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent and we are doing nice things, defeating the mode of passion and ignorance, and sometimes mode of passion will defeat goodness and ignorance, and then at other times ignorance will win. It will defeat goodness and passion, and therefore there is always a competition between these three modes. Now, raise your hand and tell me, who can tell me these first two pictures is which mode, second two pictures is which mode, and third two pictures is which mode? Yes, Ritika and Arya. Ritika, tell me the first two pictures.
In the first picture, like he's lying down on his bed and watching TV all day. I think this is mode of ignorance because he is addicted to watching television.
Correct.
And in the second, a lady is drinking alcohol, which was also mentioned in the mode of ignorance.
Correct.
And she says, "What?"
Yeah, whatever. You'll find some people, no, hey, you have to do homework. Ma'am has said, do this, no, let's do that. Whatever, yeah, forget it. Like, they'll be like, don't tell me or remind me of my duties. Right? Misha, you haven't spoken. Misha, can you say the second one? Maitri has also raised.
Ma'am, second one is
Second one is mode of? I can't hear you with all your noise.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Okay, so let's listen to, pay attention, Nisha. Let's listen to Maitri. Maitri's hand is also raised. Anushka and Arya also. Maitri, what is the second one?
The second one is
Third picture. Second row. Second row child. Maitri.
It is passion.
Yes.
And
what is happening? What is happening in that second and third picture? Anybody else also would like to help me? Natalie? Okay, and you
good.
Yes.
Ignorance.
That is the last. That is the first two. First two, Ritika explained, right? So let's see, Maitri, you're getting it. You said the second row, it is passion. Anushka, can you explain how the second row is passion?
Ma'am, second row is passion because the person is being angry and then he's attached to material things, like he's just being on money.
Yes.
He's just after money.
Correct. He wants the best mobile. You can see in the picture, he's thinking of money. He wants a smartwatch. He just wants basically all the material pleasures. His mind is only
yes, ma'am.
Material pleasures. Very good. Thank you, Anushka and Natalie. The last one, who is Arya? Arya, explain the last two pictures.
Yes, ma'am. The last two tells about the mode of goodness. In the first picture, the person is happy, which is like their behavior. And the second one is teaching, they want to share their knowledge. Yeah. So they're like probably the illiterate who needs more knowledge. So the person is basically teaching the illiterate.
Correct. Thank you so much. Misha, did you understand now? First two pictures,
Yes,
mode of
ma'am.
ignorance. Second to a mode of passion, where you're either shouting or you're sad and depressed, you don't know, you're complaining, or you're running after money. The last one is mode of goodness. Okay, so let's go to the next slide now. Yeah. So what are the life lessons we learn here, children? There are so many problems in our life which can be sorted out, and life will become peaceful if we don't react and we notice that which modes, lower modes we are in. Maybe notice, oh my God, I'm in a mode of passion now, or I'm in a mode of ignorance. I don't want to be here. And you, when you suppose you have a fight with someone, you will think twice. Am I like this actually? Is she like this? She's behaving like this just because she's in the mode of ignorance. And you'll understand other people rather than, being judgmental. Or it's just that we are controlled by our lower modes and we stop fighting over things because after some time it wouldn't matter. Anushka, you raise your hand because you want to say something or ask something. Okay.
Oh,
Here,
ma'am, I want to answer.
you want to answer. So here we have another life lesson. Ritika has also raised hand. This,
Ma'am, I wanted
yeah.
to add.
Yes,
In the first picture, his emotions were contradictory. Like in the first picture, he was angry, and in the second, he was trying to hide his emotions. So like he does not wanted to be angry, but he was like he was not in control of his actions.
true, very true, Ritika. That's a very beautiful analysis. Okay. Anybody else's hand is raised? No. All right. So here, that's nice. That's a nice understanding. Here we also can see in this beautiful picture how while we are struggling again with all these modes, there is someone above us, Krishna. He is witnessing each of our reactions. He is noticing every single thought and desire of us. And Krishna actually keeps himself aloof. Although he's everywhere, he will not get involved. We have to go through our own karmas and reactions, and he's only calling us with a lot of love. Come back, children, come back. You are actually spirit souls. Your real place is with me in the spiritual world. You are now in a jail in the material world, and the material modes are having control over you. See me, I'm above all this. See me and come to me. So Krishna is, you can see in this picture, above all these different modes which are actually playing with us, and we are just like a puppet. We are dancing to these material modes of nature. This is a very unique teaching you get in Gita. You'll not find in any other, scripture or in any other books that or in school. They don't teach you this basic thing that your mind is being carried away by all these modes. It's such a beautiful and important life lesson that we learn in this, right? It's so beautiful. Here in 14.11, we can see the manifestations of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all gates of there are 9 gates, okay? 2 eyes, nose, mouth, then 2 ears, and then our genital organs and the excretory organs. Altogether, there are 9. And the mode of goodness can be experienced in all these 9 gates because we are illuminated by knowledge. We are able to have control over our senses. And in 14.12, Krishna says, "O chief of Bharatas or Arjuna, where there is an increase in mode of passion, there will be attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, intense endeavor." So, people say it's great to be madly ambitious. Yes, it is great to be madly ambitious if it is, spiritualized, if it is, what God wants, if you're fighting and doing something for what the world really wants, that is great. But if you're doing something out of mode of passion for your own sense enjoyment, that is mode of passion. You should understand the difference. O son of Kuru, when there is an increase in mode of ignorance, people will be more mad, there'll be illusion, inertia, and darkness. So these are all repetitions just for you to understand more and more clearly. Where will the people in these modes go after they die? Now, this is one new concept in this chapter. Krishna will teach us something very important over here. He says that when you're in the mode of goodness, and while suppose you're dying, when you're predominantly in the mode of goodness, you will go to higher planets. You will not reach spiritual world. You will only go to higher material heavenly planets. Many religions, they will ask you to try to go to heavenly planets so that you can have more sense enjoyment. You will say that you'll have so many apsaras and beautiful women to enjoy. You'll have, there'll be so much of beauty. Yes, there are higher material worlds where the senses are not like ours, much more, the senses will have capacity to enjoy. But these are also material worlds. So if you are always doing good things and you're getting good karma, you will go to higher planets which are just giving you more joy, which is again temporary. This is very, difficult and important new learning we learn from the Gita. Then when a person dies in the mode of passion, he's just wanting this and that, he will come back to the earth. Again, he will born. Sometimes, in fact, if his deeds are bad, he might even take birth in the animal kingdom based on what is his nature. For example, you can see in in the first picture, the person is born as a plant, because sometimes what they say in the scriptures is when there are ladies who would expose their bodies and they don't want to wear anything, they're naked, they'll be born as trees. You don't have to dress up at all. They'll be naked all the time. Or, there are different people who are eating lots of non-veg will take birth as a carnivorous animal. Or if you're lazy all the time, you take birth as a sloth or something. Those who are, very sex-minded may take birth as a dog or an elephant. Elephants are supposed to be in the mode of passion because they are very, they'll be after sex very, very much. That's what is explained. The male elephant actually is trapped by having a female elephant walk in front, and they'll run after that female elephant, and they'll put a pit. The female elephant is trained to go around, but the male elephant falls in the pit and then is trapped, for life. So basically, whatever mode you are in and what is it that you desire, according to that, you will take birth in this earth. So this is, such a different, unique teaching you learn from the Bhagavad Gita. And when you're in the mode of goodness, you become purified. Work done in the mode of passion, it will cause you distress. And work done in the mode of ignorance will cause you foolishness. Here, I think one slide is missing. The slide where you die in the mode of ignorance, you will go to the lower planets. Or you will, when you're in the mode of passion, you take birth on earth. When you die in the mode of ignorance, you will take birth either in the lower planets where you have a lot of suffering to go through, or in the animal or plant kingdom. You will have to take birth, and then you'll have to go through many species before you get a human birth again. So this is what the scripture tells us. Yes. Any doubt? Is it time?
Nancy.
You have a nice Buddha statue there. Yeah. The Buddha is conscious of peace and joy, because Buddha was born to teach people not to have knowledge. That was his main goal. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge comes. When you stay in the mode of goodness, you can get real knowledge more easily. From the mode of passion, what comes? Greed will increase. The mode of ignorance, foolishness, madness, and illusion. So these verses Krishna is repeating. And this slide, who would like to explain this slide about destination and result of action and effect? Okay, Ritika was the first one to raise hand. So Ritika, quickly, can you, and all of you, please keep looking, and although you feel you understood, it's good to really look at it again and again, because it is actually a new teaching. Yes, Ritika?
In the mode of goodness, you reach to the higher planets, and in passion, earthly planets, and in ignorance, lower species. In higher planets, you enjoy the material things, and in passion, you become you again return to the earth and belong in some other kingdom. And in ignorance, you suffer a lot. And in the mode of goodness, the result of action is pure. In passion, it is misery, and in ignorance, it is foolish. In the mode of goodness, the effect is real knowledge. In passion, it is greed, and in ignorance, it is madness, illusion.
Yeah, thank you, Ritika. That was wonderful. So you can see how we forget that the ultimate exam of this life is death, right? We forget that. And we are, trained in such a way in schools and colleges that we're only thinking about, okay, after school, what? Good college. After college, what? Good job. After job, what? Marriage. We're not trained to understand that this human body is temporary and we are not this body. This basic teaching itself is not being taught. So while staying in this body, we forget that we are actually already preparing for the next birth. So make responsible choices every minute. Which mode you want to be in? Do you want to rise above the three modes? Where do you want to go after your final examination of death? Is not taught in schools and colleges. Only scriptures will teach you that. So in 14.18, Krishna says that those who are situated in the mode of goodness go to the higher planets, earthly planets, and hellish worlds. And death is not the end of suffering. Many people here, they commit suicide. Why? They think that, oh, if I commit suicide, all my problems are over. They don't know that it's just, you're going to take another dress and wear it and continue on the journey. Whatever is your karma, you have to go through it. It's not just a forward journey from this trance. Death is not the end of suffering. It's just a forward journey from this transit. You just go into another body based on your mode, your material mode, guna, and based on your karmas. So what should you do? You should board on a proper flight for going back home, back to Godhead. You don't want to go to higher heavenly planets and enjoy, and then again, when you finish your good karma, you come back. You don't want to go and suffer in hell. You don't want to be again born in this earth and be in this jail. God wants us to come back to the spiritual world. And there's a beautiful description of spiritual world in the later Gita chapters. So you know what? If you go by astronomy, the scientists are only able to see, the Earth and the solar system, and they're able to see here and there. But the spiritual people who have reached highly spiritually through meditation, in fact, the scriptures come from God Himself. He is explaining to us how the universe is and how there are many universes. And as you read the Bhagavatam, you cannot imagine how the immensity of the universe is described beautifully. So the upper planets, the lower planets, they have given names to them, and so much of advancement is there in our spiritual scriptures, which is hardly, understood by people today in this Kali Yuga. So can I transcend these modes? Can I go to the higher, can I go above all these three modes? Yes, you can. We are actually victims of our habits. When you see that there is nothing beyond these modes in all activity and of nature in all activities, and that the Supreme Lord is transcendental, then you know your spiritual nature. You are actually spiritual. So this slide tells us it's time, I think. No? By what symptoms? Arjuna will ask some wonderful questions. What is the time? Is it time for me to? No, there is 5 minutes. So hopefully I can finish. So Arjuna will actually ask wonderful questions for us to understand. He asks Krishna, what are the symptoms, by which we know that this person is not affected by the modes of nature, but is above these three modes of nature. What is it? He will be asking. Okay. So let's see. When the Krishna says that when the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes, he actually becomes free from all birth, death, old age, distresses. He becomes free and he enjoys nectar even in this life, because you're not affected by these modes, you are above them. Okay, so Arjuna is asking these three questions. Oh my dear Lord, by what symptom is one known who is above all these three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend these material modes of nature? Arjuna is asking, and Krishna gives a detailed answer. Can somebody read this? Arya, can you read this? What is the answer Krishna gives?
Yes, ma'am. The blessed Lord said, he who does not hate elimination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, nor longs for them when they disappear, who is seated like one unconcerned being situated beyond these material reactions of the modes of nature, who remains firm, knowing that the modes alone are active, who regards alike pleasure and pain and looks on a clod, a stone and piece of gold with an equal eye, who is wise and holds praise and blame to be the same, who is uncharged in honor and dishonor, who treats friend and foe alike, who has abandoned all fruitive undertaking, such a man is said to have transcended in the mode of nature.
Yeah. So here Krishna describes all the qualities of a person in the mode of who is above all the three modes. What are the symptoms? He is equipoised, he is neutral, he is not hankering, he is not jealous or envious. Hankering about things you don't have will surely plunder your happiness. If you keep on, oh, that, I want this. See, this girl, she's already had a big bag, so many bags of shopping, and she still wants more and more. So, you know, it's never ending, it'll end in misery only. Now, in what is a behavior? Steady in all circumstances, deals with everyone equally, doesn't act whimsically, is surrendered to Krishna. Is whether you get praise or blame or honor or dishonor, happiness, unhappiness, or something desirable happens, undesirable happens. You're the same in all inside your heart. You're the same. You look at earth or stone or gold as one. You don't feel, oh, this is gold or this is only stone. You are able to see Krishna and everything. You don't differentiate between friend and enemy also, because you see Krishna and all. You see an enemy doing something wrong, you just think, oh, he's just in the mode of ignorance or passion. Yeah, forget it, forgive him. You know, so that kind of attitude, you will not feel angry or hate towards anyone, nor will you feel too much of love or attachment, because you see Krishna in everyone. You know, everybody's in the either in the three modes or above it if they're really great people. So here he also answers the third question: how to transcend. Children, this is very important to understand. The three modes cannot be transcended by material methods. The only way is by chanting. That's why we have seriously started chanting. If you do devotional service or think of the Lord of the universe and in all circumstances, then only that is a solution to cut the ropes which are binding us. And even in this birth itself, we can reach the level of Brahman and we can be free from the three modes. It's only possible through understanding Krishna. This is what is important, because we may try as you might using material methods, but the only way is to transcend to the spiritual level in your thoughts. Only then you can, you know, understand and be above the modes of nature. So one who engages in devotional service will not fall. At once he transcends the modes of material nature and he comes to the level of Brahman. And Krishna says, I am the basis of this impersonal. People say, what is God? It's the impersonal energy. Who is that? That's Krishna, which is a constitutional position of ultimate happiness. And Krishna is immortal, imperishable, eternal, the person who is the reason for our existence. You have to be attached to him. You have to love him. Okay, so today's class is over. I hope you enjoyed chapter 14 as much as I enjoyed preparing for teaching you this. So I don't think there's time to do chapter 15. So I'm going to give you.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, children. Please do answer the quiz. I'll put it in the group. Chapter 14 quiz, even 13 quiz has not been done. Okay. Bye, everyone. Hare Krishna. Take
Okay,
care.
ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Any doubts? Come up next class.